Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thank you for joining us. We are live here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, keeping you up to date with what is going on in the Columbia River Gorge in association with the Rowena Fire, which started yesterday. As of the latest report, it's around 3,500 plus acres. I'm going to pull this up here for you just so we can monitor this. There's about to be a press conference, a news conference update about that from firefighter officials. So a number of different organizations, I believe, are going to be speaking. But as you can see, it's getting set up right now. So as soon as this does start, we will take you live to that. I'll even turn up the sound just a little bit. It looks like they are getting ready. Just in case you don't know some of the latest updates, 3,500 plus acres. I'm assuming we'll find out another number here once they do join us. There are a lot of organizations that are working on this, that are fighting that fire. I-84 is open, but it is highly advised that if you don't need to travel in that area, it's probably best to avoid it. And that is because this fire has been happening right along I-84. We've got some footage that I'll show you after this news conference of some things that we shot from earlier today. But this, as of just a little bit ago, is the evacuation levels. So right there, that red that you see on your screen there, that's the level 3 go now for anybody in that area, and that is where that fire has been burning, just west there of the Dalles, in between Mosier, really that Rowena area right there, which is the Rowena Fire. The level 2 has expanded since yesterday, level 1 expanding even more, kind of out there to the south of that area. The big thing to watch for today, too, that we're following along with is those winds. The winds are coming down there. This is one of the big reasons why this was such a concern when this fire popped up. You have dry conditions, you have wind, you have embers that can go far, and that's a big reason why this fire spread so fast. So we're gonna go ahead and while we're waiting here for these officials, I'm gonna pull them up. It looks like they're gonna have an updated map as well, going along with this. Again, we're going to hear from them here in just a minute as they get set up. But this is something that's pretty historic from what we understand so far. There's around 20 plus structures, homes, various buildings that were destroyed in this fire. We were out there earlier today and actually documented some of that. Again, while we're waiting here, I'll go ahead and show you some of this footage from earlier today. This was our team that was out there showing the aftermath of a home. And you can see I-84 right there in the background. Right there, I mean, even those trees, it looks like weren't touched on this, but this home gone, completely gone. And this is the same case with a number of buildings there in that area. And you know, it's just a reminder of how fast something like this can spread and some of that destruction and devastation that can happen with a fire like this. The last time we had a Rowena fire was in 2014. And here, I'm going to switch this back to our live camera right now. So this is our camera crew out there where we're going to be getting that update. So this is a live shot from up there in the gorge. You can see all that smoldering, or all that smoke coming up. We'll find out more about that here in just a minute. It looks like, I'm not sure if maybe the fire's already gone through that area. This is what's happened, it looks like. Again, we'll find out more, but that's showing you a live look of what's happening out there and just how fast you can even see that wind blowing it right there, blowing that smoke, and what that can do when you have embers and flames and trees that big, and just how far that can carry things. It's a huge concern. Okay, it looks like we're getting ready for this. I'm going to take this to you.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us with the Rowena Fire. My name is Herrick Zoundijk. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Green Team for Oregon State Fire Marshal. I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking right now. We're actually going to have our agency representations from Oregon State Fire Marshal and Oregon Department of Forestry start kicking it off. Everybody will introduce themselves and what their role is. At the end, we will do questions and answers. We have another meeting to go to, so we probably won't have a really long time to do a question and answer, but we'll try to accommodate as much as we can. Okay?
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to engage with us. My name is Travis Medema, and I serve as the Chief Deputy Director for the Department of State Fire Marshal. It's been a very dynamic 24 hours, as you all can imagine, with rapid fire growth and escalation of the Rowena Fire. Due to that rapid escalation, Governor Kotek invoked the Conflagration Act yesterday afternoon. That Conflagration Act mobilizes the Oregon Fire Service and structural resources through the Department of State Fire Marshal to respond to help protect communities and people during a time of need. That mobilization included one incident management team, the Green Incident Management Team from the Department of State Fire Marshal, along with 8 structural task forces. And task forces are made up of 5 engines of different sizes and capabilities and capacities. Those task forces mobilized yesterday and late into the evening engaged on the incident, helping support the local fire agencies. They had a lot of success last night in helping support those local operations and providing some relief to locals. The Department of State Fire Marshal and the Oregon Fire Service is really all about protecting people and communities. That's our mission. That's what we do. That's why the Conflagration Act was invoked. We're very fortunate in Oregon to have the system that we have. That system involves coordination and cooperation and partnership with your 2 state agencies, the Department of State Fire Marshal and Department of Forestry, who you'll hear next from. We are fortunate in that we have 6 incident management teams across the 2 agencies. There are not many other states that have that capacity and capability, and that's an important element of how we respond to protect communities. We will be in unified command on the structural side with our wildland partners, and that's really the best of both systems, allowing structural resources that are trained to protect people and communities to focus on that mission, and allow wildland folks to really focus on perimeter control and stopping the spread of the fire. That system and that dynamic generally leads to very successful outcomes, and that's how we're setting up today, and we're in unified command last night. As folks can imagine and you can see, just looking up at the hillside, it is June 12th. I almost said July because it feels like July. We are about a month ahead of schedule. Both agencies have done numerous interviews and talked about the potential severity of the 2025 wildfire season. We're seeing conditions that are at least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks ahead of where they were last year. Last year, for folks that were in Oregon, will remember 1.9 million acres burned in this great state, a record in recent history. So very significant wildfire season last year. Clearly, due to the timing of this, the fuel conditions, which our partners will talk about, we are setting up for another very difficult, challenging wildfire season. We'll potentially answer some questions at the end, but now I'd like to turn it over to my colleague from the Department of Forestry, Director Kyle Williams.
Thank you, Chief Medema, and same. Thank you all for taking the time this afternoon to come and participate here. For Kyle Williams, Deputy Director, Fire Operations, the Oregon Department of Forestry. As Chief Medema mentioned, we knew we were headed into a tough fire season as we've been looking at forecasts for the last month. We had really hoped that we would have a little bit more time before we kicked it off in earnest. But we got this call yesterday at about 1:30 in the afternoon, and there was no time left for us to prepare. As we got going, looking at these conditions, we had brought on some extra severity aviation assets. You can see the scoopers that are flying today. Those had started on Sunday and significantly aided in our firefight yesterday. Additionally, with the structure resources that had responded, our local Central Oregon District personnel were engaged in the firefight as best they could be. Last evening, we made the call to bring in our complex incident management team number 2, led by Incident Commander Matt Howard, and those folks are in briefing just up the road here in an hour, and will be assuming command of the fire until it is off the map. With that, I'd like to turn it over to our local district forester, Rob Penzer, tell you a little bit about this fire.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Rob Penzer, and I serve as a district forester for the Central Oregon District for the Oregon Department of Forestry, located out of Prineville. Yesterday was a very busy day for us. Yesterday we responded to 12 different fires across the district, one of them being the Rowena Fire here. It started at 1:30 in the afternoon. We also responded with all of our partners, Washington DNR, OSFM, Mid-Columbia Fire and Rescue, Sheriff's Office, and probably a couple more that I'm sorry if I forgot to mention you. But yesterday was very busy, and as you can see by this fire, it went quickly. Travis mentioned earlier that it may feel like it's June 12th, but our conditions are more like August. We are typically in this conditions about the 3rd or 4th week of July, which we call our 95 or 96 ERC percentiles. That's where we're at right now in this fire season. You may think it's green on the hillside, but it's not. It's burning, and it's burning well, as you can see. The last thing I want to just tell you, as we prepare to move on, Team 2 is going to be coming in today. Matt Howard and his teams are experienced here. It was 11 months ago that I briefed them on the Larch Creek fire, just 11 months ago. So it hasn't even been a full year since I've briefed the first team of last year and the first team of this year. So think about that as we historically start dealing with fires on a longer fire season. Matt's team is going to do a great job for all of us, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how well they do. Thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm Roland Rose. I'm with U.S. Forest Service, Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area, and currently I'm the incident commander on this fire, along with, in unified command, with the Wasco County Sheriff and Oregon Department of Forestry with the Oregon State Fire Marshal. So I'm a stopgap incident commander until that team, that incident management team, comes in place that they talked about. I took over this morning from the initial attack incident commanders, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about where the fire is at right now and a little bit about what our plan is. So the fire started on the northwest corner up here and blew with very heavy wind, about 25 mile an hour sustained wind, and the local initial attack resources did a great job given those conditions, leapfrogging home to home, trying to save as many homes as possible. The fire did burn around the corner into the Dalles, and we do have structure losses in multiple areas, but the State Fire Marshal did a fantastic job mobilizing forces very quickly, which allowed us to put the structure resources on the homes, and then we can focus on getting a perimeter around the fire. So currently, this west end, we're trying to utilize old road systems along with air support and contractor operated heavy equipment along with ODF heavy equipment and hotshot crews to utilize that old road system and create a perimeter or a stop for the fire from moving farther up this steep country to the west. The edge on the south, we were able to get dozer line around that last night and tie it into road systems down below. So far, everything from there around the east end is holding all the way back to the origin. It's mostly this piece up on top that has no line around it yet. Again, trying to improve pre-existing roads and go direct wherever we can with hotshot crews, and probably some firing later on. I'll have the fire until we transition this evening. Any questions for me?
Point out where we are.
We are right here on this map.
And where did it start in reference to where we are?
Where the red stops on the west of us there.
So this area you're saying is all perimeter now and no...
The perimeter hasn't moved from anywhere from the north side of I-84 all the way around into the Dalles, and then the south side back to 7 Mile Road.
And we'll take more questions. Sorry, we'll take questions over.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be doing firing tonight?
We don't know if we're going to do firing. Right now we're just developing the control lines and improving those where we can and trying to go direct whenever possible. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm Kelly Zakarski with OSFM's Green Team. I'm the Ops Chief and I'm responsible for the deployment and coordination of our structure fire resources. So we have 8 task forces here. They're from 8 different counties throughout the state. and they've all come together to work together. They've all come together to work together so that we have a coordinated effort. We coordinate really closely with our wildland partners. As IC Rose was talking about, we focus on structure protection. That's our main focus, our main goal, and our mission. And in that capacity, we're doing really three things right now. We're out scouting, really trying to understand the scope and scale of this problem, if you will. And then secondarily, we have lost structures. We don't know how many, but there are a lot of structures still standing that had fire move through them. So our crews are in there doing very aggressive mop-up, which is essentially taking out any fire threat around that structure. So we have no heat signatures, no smokes or embers, to ensure that those houses stay standing and they're safe. And then lastly, we're also looking at structures that haven't been impacted by the fire yet, but may. And so what we do is we go in and we triage, and we try to figure out the houses that are the most savable, or who perhaps need the most work to become savable, or to stand alone, so that they can withstand a fire front that did come through in the event that the weather doesn't cooperate, the fire weather behavior doesn't cooperate with us. So those crews are stretched out really pretty much this whole kind of northeast portion of the fire, and then we also have crews in patrolling. So again, we talk about scope and scale, as we discover more, we figure out what exactly the job at hand is, we'll continue to readjust. Thank you. Any questions? No. Questions at the end. No questions. Thank you.
Welcome. My name is Lane McGill. I'm the Wasco County Sheriff. We're based out of the Dalles here. I just wanted to give a quick update on the evacuations, where we're at with the Sheriff's Office, because we ordered the evacuations for this fire. We currently have approximately 3,000 to 35 individuals that are on evacuation notice at this point in time. And I'll just give you a quick statistic here. The level 1 evacuations, as far as actual residences, physical residences, is 1,547 residences. Level 2 evacuations is 1,468 residences. And level 3 evacuation is 825 residences. Speaking of the residences, we are working in conjunction with the Oregon State Fire Marshal, Oregon State Police, and other agencies that we cooperate with to do an assessment of the damage of lost houses at this time. We're still doing that. It's going to take us an extended period of time to do that because of the complexity of this incident. This is a very active fire incident. There's places that we can't even get into yet because of the debris that's falling and different things like that. What I can tell you is we have no known fatalities at this time, but what I would like to say and provide a phone number to our citizens is if you have questions or concerns about a family member that you haven't had contact with or anything like that, we'd ask you to call 541-506-2724. I'll give that number again. It's 541-506-2724. That's a message line. We would request that you would call that and just give us a detailed message, and we'll do some follow-up there for you. Secondarily, we have a Red Cross shelter set up at the Dalles Middle School, and we do currently have residents that are staying there at this point in time. But if you know of anybody or anybody's watching this and you need a place to stay, you can go to the Dalles Middle School for that as well. And finally, what I will note is that the investigation for this incident is being handled by the Oregon Department of Forestry in conjunction with the Oregon State Fire Marshal's Office. We are not conducting the fire investigation as the law enforcement agency in this particular case. They will ask us if they need assistance if we arise to that need. So with that, I believe I'm the last person.
Yes.
There you go. So I
assume. Do you have any questions for the sheriff? Maybe we can start with that.
I don't know who this question is for, but can you talk about the directionality of the winds and how that's playing into some of this?
That'd be wrong.
So the question was the directionality of the winds, the direction of the winds and what's expected. So we have, like is most typical in the gorge, we have a strong west wind, but what happens on the ridges by McCall Point and the basin up here, we get a lot of swirling and 180-degree shift in the direction. So we start getting alignment with the slope and the wind going opposite of the west wind. Same thing happens down around the corner. Even though this is downhill into the Dalles, often it gets an acceleration over that slope. So you get, rather than 25-mile-an-hour winds that we're experiencing down in the gorge, it actually accelerates up on top and can be 30-mile-an-hour winds downhill. It's expected to be the same direction through this shift and tomorrow.
Was that what's happening yesterday too?
Yes.
Can you say what percentages contain something like that to give people an idea? Just 1%.
0 right now.
Okay.
So we are literally triaging and trying to figure out which homes are still on fire, which trees are on fire. As far as containment, 0% at this point.
You pointed out that area of concern where there's no real line right there. What does that area of land look like? Are there a lot of structures there? Is that natural? What are we talking about right there?
So this is a steep bowl. Luckily, the U.S. Forest Service has done a lot of treatment in here. They've actually pre-treated this area with over 2,000 hand piles burned over time. And then some road work was done 2 years ago again that's making a big difference in slowing the fire down to allow this team to get in and pick it back up.
Are there any residential structures in that area?
Not in the U.S. Forest Service ground, but right above it, and quite a few and very hard terrain to fight fire in just to the west. So if we did get an east wind event, it'd be extremely challenging to pick it up. Right now, we have a good chance of trying to get it within the next 48 hours on that west end.
I have a question about the start, what caused the fire. I'm not sure if you're the right person to ask.
I'm probably not. Probably State Fire Marshal or ODF.
About the cause of the fire, we got some calls from viewers who are concerned that a train passing by might have sparked the fire, and obviously we have train tracks right here. Are you able to provide any information on that at this time?
Fire is under investigation at this point, and so our folks are working really hard on trying to determine the cause. Most likely human activity of some kind, but that's as far as we would narrow it at this point. Very much under investigation.
What's the number of personnel on the fire right now? Do you know?
Question for Roland. Number of personnel?
So we're sitting at trying to think of the lunch order I just did.
180.
180. Thank you. Currently 180. That should go up by probably another 100 within 24 hours.
Well, you talked about the most dangerous area right now being on that south side.
Mm-hmm.
What is there, and how many structures are threatened there right now?
So the south side of the fire has over 50 structures around to 7 Mile Hill and up 7 Mile Hill and over. But the hardest to reach, most difficult terrain right now, it's very steep. There aren't structures directly in that, but that's our control line. If that doesn't get contained, then there's nothing keeping this fire from moving west and south to the other homes that are around it.
Roland, in a general area, where were the houses that burned?
We have houses that burned along this north edge and the east edge of the fire.
Are you still seeing people trying to park on I-84 and enter the level 3 evacuation zone? I saw a notice coming out earlier today trying to tell people to not do
We
that.
have had some issues, and a few firefighters have to deal with folks that are getting into the state park or trying to get into Highway 30 or parking to get into the fire area.
I have a question maybe for the sheriff.
Yeah, maybe what we can do, since a lot of us have to go and attend another meeting like in 20 minutes, I'm available. We have a big team right now that's coming in with ODF, so if we have some real individual questions, we can do some stuff, more one-on-one versus trying to do everything in a group, trying to rush. So, but as soon as we have the meeting done, then we're going to have better availability, at least on the fire side, let me put it that way.
I think there was one last question for the sheriff.
Yeah. I'll keep it quick. I think this might be one
go
for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm hoping for an update on the Columbia Gorge Discovery Center. We passed by the building. It is still standing. But I'm hoping for an update on maybe damages.
Yep, the building is still standing. It sustained minor damages of what we're being reported to and stuff like that, so fire crews were able to handle it. The other thing I will report, I'll be staying here while these guys go to their meeting, but the other thing I will report is we want everybody, unless you're an authorized personnel, to stay out of the fire area. It's highly dangerous. So if you're a citizen listening to this, don't go in off the highway and go into the level 3 area. It's very, very dangerous. We have rock slide dangers. I just witnessed a tree falling over here a couple hours ago when I came by. So just be thinking about those types of things, but we want everybody to stay out of there. So yeah, and I'll stick around for some more questions if you need to.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right, well, looks like that is over. So that was the update here. Let me go ahead and get this pulled up here. I'll head to another meeting. So again, this is Fox of Oregon. So that was the live update from those fire officials. You can see a lot of agencies working on this. It does sound like there is going to be an incident management team coming in shortly that's going to take over for everyone, and that is part of that Conflagration Act, which, in case you didn't hear about that, that's what Governor Kotek initiated, which means that they can put all of these fire agencies under one command center, and essentially makes it easier to organize as they go about fighting this fire, and they can divvy up where everybody goes to fight that. But to show you this map one more time, and then we're going to sign off, and we're going to be coming back here shortly, but this is the general area where those evacuation zones are. That has expanded just a little bit, but it sounds like they've got a lot of the the east section of fire there near the Dalles fairly cordoned off, but it's that west side that they're worried about. And so we'll have more updates, as they said, later on here throughout the afternoon, and we'll get those to you as we find out more as well. So that's what we're going to be doing here. So wherever you're watching us from, thanks for doing so. That Fox 12 Oregon app is a great way. We'll put out a notification if we do have more updates. I will be back here in just a few minutes, though. At 1:30, we're going to talk about something that, you know, especially for people who are outside of that fire zone, but something that we're all getting used to here in the Northwest. As one of the officials just said, 1.9 million acres burned last year in Oregon. They said it's looking like this could be another year like that, unfortunately, that we're 2 to 3 weeks ahead of schedule for where or maybe even more ahead of schedule for where we normally would be when it comes to wildfire season. So this is coming early even for them. And that is smoke. Smoke is something that, we've all seen a lot more of. The wind is blowing away. It's blowing to the east for this. So people on that side of the fire are going to be dealing with all of this wildfire smoke. And we're going to talk to you, Eric Gordonson from Around the House Northwest, about just different things you can do. And it's a good idea to prepare ahead of time, because inevitably, unfortunately, we're most likely going to be dealing with some wildfire smoke no matter where you are at some point this summer. And it's important to keep that out of your home if at all possible. It can be really dangerous. It's really bad for your health, obviously. So we're going to have some tips and some ideas for you for that coming up here at about 1:30. We do need to take a break, so we're going to do that. Whatever platform you're watching me on, just come right back there. If you're on our app, that's the best place. If you're on YouTube, you'll see this video end, and we'll come back with another one. But we will be keeping you up to date if we get more information here throughout the afternoon. We'll take a break for right now. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.